Now, along with formatting the text of your document using font formatting, you may also want to apply paragraph formatting to your document as well. And we touched on a couple of paragraph formatting options a moment ago when I was utilizing the paragraph alignment options here in the paragraph group of the Home ribbon. Let's take a moment though to explore some additional formatting options that you may apply to your paragraphs. This also includes indentation. Here you'll notice the decrease indent button as well as the increase indent button that, when clicked, will allow you to move the entire paragraph of text that you've selected. And in this case, I've only got my cursor in one paragraph, so thus the first paragraph only has now changed a half an inch into the document with each click of that particular button. And in fact, if I click the increase indent button yet again, I'll move one more half of inch into the document, thus indenting that first paragraph a total of 1 inch away from the left margin of the document. Of course, I can undo this action or utilize the decrease indent button, and again, with each click of this button, I am decreasing the indentation of the paragraph that I've selected or that I've clicked in 1/2 an inch at a time. If you wish to apply this formatting to multiple paragraphs, you can select more than one paragraph, at which point now by clicking these particular buttons, I'm indenting the entire selected paragraph 1/2 an inch at a time into the document, again, specifically 1/2 an inch away from the left margin into the document with each click of that button. Were I to click the decrease indent button, once more the indentation of the selected paragraphs will be decreased 1/2 an inch with each click of that button. Now, when it comes to indenting the paragraphs of your document, you may also look at some of the special indentation options that are available in the paragraph formatting window. Again, a window that I'm going to access by clicking the button or arrow in the lower right corner of the paragraph group. Once this is clicked and the paragraph window opens, you'll find in the indentation group of the paragraph window an option for special indentation, which includes the first line or hanging indents. Were I to choose the option of first line indent, and again I can choose to have this indented by 1/2 an inch by default or other measurements by changing the value in the by field. And then once I click OK, we'll see now that the first paragraph alone has now a first line indentation. In other words, the first line of that paragraph has now been indented by 1/2 an inch, whereas all other lines remain in their current location. Let's undo that particular formatting action and then return to the paragraph window to now demonstrate the use of the hanging indent, which essentially is the opposite of the first line indent. Once selected, you'll now notice that the first line of that paragraph remains as is, whereas all other lines of the paragraph have now been indented 1/2 an inch. Now, although these are options that you can access by way of the paragraph formatting window, you might find it a little bit easier to reflect these types of indentation changes within your document by using the ruler. And currently, as it stands, the ruler is not being displayed in Microsoft Word at this time. To activate the ruler for this and any other document that I might be working on, as this is a permanent setting that will reflect in all documents, I can either go to the View tab of my ribbon, or I can activate the option of Ruler, which we now see both across the top of the screen as well as down the left side of the screen, or by clicking the Ruler button located just above the vertical scroll bar on the right side of the screen. Each time I click this button, I can either show or hide the ruler within my document. Now, with my cursor in the first paragraph, you'll notice that I have markers on the ruler that reflect the first line indentation as well as the hanging indentation. So in other words, instead of using the Format Paragraph window, if I were to drag the upper part of these markers, the one here labeled First Line Indent, as I drag this particular marker, so goes the first line of my paragraph, as I've now moved the first line of the paragraph 1 inch from the left margin into this document. If I drag the lower marker to the left, the hanging indentation marker, all of the text besides the first line in that paragraph will now move to the left so as to be lined up with the hanging indent marker. And of course, once more, if you were to select multiple paragraphs while moving these particular markers, you can change multiple paragraphs at the same time, as I've demonstrated now with the first 2 paragraphs in the document, having now added a first line indentation of 1/2 an inch. Now, once you have the indentation of the first line as well as any other lines of the text that you've selected, should you wish to move or indent the paragraphs further into the document while retaining the distance from the first line to all other lines, this can be done by clicking the box located on the lower part of the ruler known as the left indent marker. Essentially, by clicking and dragging the box located just below the hanging indent marker, I can move both the first line and hanging indent line at the same time. Essentially, once I've got the distance between the first line and the hanging indent exactly where I like it, I can move them both at the same time by dragging the box or the left indent marker located at the bottom of the ruler. Moving on, another paragraph format that I'd like to discuss is that of adding borders. Here now, with my document title selected, example document, I'd like to add some borders either below or perhaps even above the selected paragraph. By clicking the drop-down arrow to the right of the Borders button in the paragraph group of the Home ribbon, I can choose to add borders either below, by choosing the option of Bottom Border, or above the selected paragraph, in this case by choosing the option of Top Border. And in fact, you'll find many other options available in here for adding borders to different parts of your selected paragraphs. Should you need additional options that are not currently available in this menu, select the option of Borders and Shading to open up the fuller, more robust dialog box for formatting the borders and the shadings of your paragraph. And in fact, not only will you find border options available for paragraphs in this window, you'll also find options for applying page borders, which includes simple line options for your page, or even page border by way of what is known as border art, in which you'll find several options available in the drop-down menu here that I've just clicked, where once you've decided on which border you wish to apply, simply apply them to your document by clicking on the various lines located here to the right, indicating top and bottom borders or left and right borders. You'll even find an option here labeled Shading, which allows you to place various background fill colors on the selected paragraphs of your document. Keeping in mind here that I still have my title, example document paragraph selected, where I'd like to apply a shade of light purple. After choosing some page border options and a shading for the first paragraph, I'm going to click OK, and we'll now see the purple shade behind the example document paragraph, as well as the gray and black page border now surrounding the entire document's border.
When you've practiced to your satisfaction, you can click on the video to continue.